really not that great. But I did want to collect all of them, and probably not gonna be able to collect all the Walmart exclusive 6-inch figures. I hate these freaking Walmart exclusives. You're either gonna look out and find all of them, or you're gonna find a few, one or two here and there, and then have to resort to eBay to find the rest and pay through the nose. So anyway, I finally, through an online retailer, Big Bad Toy Store, I finally picked up the last 3 figures. I'll start with Cap. Now, Cap, these are all pretty nicely detailed, and the only Hasbro has been doing this basically in all their toy lines. In fact, every toy line has reduced their quality and increased their price. And I hope it's a trend that soon reverses. You know, I'm used to a high kind of quality with most of these figures. Like I said, he's pretty nicely detailed. The paint job is pretty nice. No major things wrong. Articulation, head, arms, elbows rotate and bend. No wrists, no waist or torso articulation. Legs, forward, back, out to the side, rotate at the thigh. Double knee joints, that's it. No ankle joints. Although you can tell that it looks like they've sculpted for a joint there, if you ask me. So initially I think these were supposed to have joints there. We have 3 less points of articulation: the wrists, the upper torso, and the ankles. And it really does make a difference with these figures. I especially miss the wrist articulation there. But I do like the way they did the shield here. Of course, being aimed at kids, all of them have a launching projectile type weapon, or some sort of gimmick weapon, which I've immediately tossed aside and have forgotten about. So that is not there. So there is Cap. We'll move on to Iron Man. Again, same points of articulation. Very shiny paint job is nice. Details are nice. Just the articulation missing in the wrists, upper torso, and ankles would really help this. And he has, you know, instead of the double knee joints, he's got the bend and rotate joints at the knees there. There we go. That's Iron Man in his Mark 7, the suit that he gets into at the end. Now, if they come out with another wave of these things, perhaps they'll do a Mark 6 or a damaged Mark 6. We'll move on to Thor here. Again, pretty detailed. A nice face sculpt there, I think. Pretty good. Again, no articulation in the upper torso, wrists, or ankles. And, the paint is a little bit duller than the Thor than the Thor movie figure, which is which is a better figure than this, I think. So there's Thor. And here we have the Hulk. Now the Hulk is, out of the initial figures that I got, the Hulk was my favorite out of all of them. He's a little bit different in his articulation. He does have an action feature, which is a Hulk smash feature, and he is larger, so he really doesn't come with any of the gimmicky launching weapons or other things. His head just rotates, doesn't go up and down really, but he does have ab articulation, as you can see, and that's it. Legs do go forward, or rotate really, and bend in and out. And he's got the bend and rotate knee joints and no ankle joints, which would have been nice to have him with a ankle rocker. But anyway, and he has a pretty good paint scheme. He's 2 tones of green, and I really do like that face sculpt there. And it's cool that we have one hand in a fist and one hand open, so you can grab onto figures and, if you wanted to, make them throw them with a little action there, or smash into things with his fist. Again, wrist articulation would have been cool there as well. Okay, so here's the last 2 actual Avengers that I got. I got Hawkeye here. Again, nicely detailed. You see the shield logos on there and there. I wonder if next time they're going to replace maybe one of those with the Avengers logo, the A. That would be cool. You can see like I said, most of these figures are pretty detailed. You can see like buckles and stuff on there, and the paint is pretty nice. Now it's not too bad. The only thing is the articulation. Again, losing the chest articulation, the wrist articulation, and the ankle articulation. It's an okay likeness to Jeremy Renner. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more mask-like look to him in the movie rather than just the sunglasses, but that's just because I'm a big Hawkeye fan. He does come with his little gimmicky bow and arrow set. You get 3 arrows like this. Actually, it's not a bad gimmick. It's one of the better gimmicks. You can just launch it yourself like that, and it doesn't really lock into position, so it's as if you were drawing back an arrow ready to fire, and you would just let go like that. But the cool thing is that you might notice over to the side there, he comes with a non-gimmick bow as well. So that kudos to Hasbro for actually providing that. And I've totally lost that one. Oh, and here's the other arrow, I guess you could call it, although it's huge and wildly colored. The best figure out of the Avengers is probably the hardest to find, and that's because it's, well, who else is left but the Black Widow? And typically, female characters in action figure lines really don't, uh, you know, really don't sell well. And so they don't make much of them. So anyway, Black Widow actually has some more articulation than any of the other figures in the line. And that's because she has added wrist articulation with just a swivel, and her ankles are really articulated because they pivot forward and back, as well as, well, side to side, like that. So it's funny that she ends up being the most posable character out of all of them. Now, she's got an okay sculpt here. It's not too good of a likeness to Scarlett Johansson, but it does look female enough. The head sculpt there. And yet, nice hair. She does move side to side, as well as a little barely up and down. It's negligible. Her arms do go all the way around, out to the side. She doesn't have any bicep swivel, but that's okay. She does have a rotation and bend at the elbow, and like I said, the wrist articulation is there. You can see she's got her little widow's bite, widow's sting bracelets there. I don't know if they use. I don't even think they use it like in the movies. Yeah, for some reason they don't show that. She does have two of these very small guns, and they fit pretty well in the holster that is around her waist there. You do have to kind of squeeze them in a little bit. She does have a bit of a problem holding the gun by the handle in her left hand because the gap is so small there that it squeezes the soft rubbery plastic of the gun out. So if they made these with a little bit harder plastic, I think it would stay in there just a little bit better. So the last figure that I just recently got, is a Skrull soldier, and is actually, if you see on the package here, on the package, actually says comic series on it. And this is really an unfortunate occurrence. This figure is really probably one of the worst out of them, as he's got a pretty garish look to him, I think. The sculpt of the head is not bad, but I dislike the blue and purple. I would have liked a more standard Skrull look, which is the black and purple But I don't know why they went with the blue. It just doesn't look good to me. And unfortunately, they reuse the gimmick weapon that came with, I believe it's Hogan, from the Thor line, and that was the axe that broke down into two blades and a spear-like weapon. But I do like the clear plastic, or the translucent green plastic that they did use to kind of give it a little extra touch there. It's just too bad that they reused a weapon instead of giving him a nice space blaster type weapon. And it's unfortunate that they didn't get a Chitauri soldier in with this thing so we could have a actual alien from the movie, one of the bad guys from the movie. And there are one more figure that I forgot that I was in the initial wave of figures was, of course, the big bad himself, Loki. And again, pretty nice design with the details and the cape. The paint is okay. You can see the spear with the cosmic cube in it. Really just limited by the articulation. Again, no chest, wrist, or ankle articulation. And just that little bunch would have made a big difference for me, and I think a lot of people. And it really wouldn't be an Avengers collection without Nick Fury. Now, I've already reviewed this guy, I think, which came from the Iron Man 2 series, the 3-pack, but I got him from Aetherus 69, and if they did like a third wave of these guys, I would say they'd have to do a reissue Nick Fury, a Chitauri soldier, the damaged Mark 6, and let's see, there was one more. Maybe a Agent Coulson. I guess that would be it. It don't really need a Maria Hill. So I guess that's it. That does it for my Avengers 4-inch collection. I do hope that I will be able to find some of the 6-inch figures. I know I want a Cap and definitely a Hulk. Maybe a Thor, since I didn't get the Thor 6-inch figure, and definitely a Hawkeye. He's probably going to be the hardest to find in the 6-inch line. So, anyway. So that does it for now. Stay tuned for my next video. And until then, see ya.